Plaintiff Jennifer Schmidt says she and the defendant had been good friends since middle school. So when the defendant was getting out of an abusive relationship and had nowhere to go, Jennifer allowed her to move in with her. Jennifer claims after the defendant's sugar daddy stopped paying her bills, Jennifer had to cover everything, and she has yet to be repaid. Defendant Sarah Chelson says the only reason Jennifer's suing is because she got evicted due to her excessive partying. Sarah says most of the time she lived with Jennifer, she and her 2 children stayed in her room, and she doesn't believe she owes Jennifer the amount she's suing for.
Tell me what happened.
Well, Your Honor, I've known Sarah since middle school. We've been really good friends, and in summer of '08, she was having financial problems. She was going through a rough time. She had an abusive boyfriend, and she was looking to start over. So I decided to help her out. We got an apartment together. She had a sugar daddy who was paying her bills for like the first few months.
You don't look like he got any money. You pay nobody's bill.
It wasn't him.
It wasn't him?
Not him.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
And so once that stopped, I had to pay all the bills myself. She promised she was going to get a job. He just decided he didn't want to pay anymore.
Okay.
I don't.
All right, let me hear from you.
Well, the reason we were evicted from our apartment and that she is suing me is because she partied all the time, and we got evicted because she had people over. Neighbors complained a lot.
Were you there?
Yeah, I was there. I have 2 children.
You were part of all this party?
No. I was in my room with my children.
Okay.
And
that's a lot, Your Honor.
Throughout
you
the course,
a sugar daddy? You want to refute any of this stuff?
No, I had somebody that was helping me pay my bills.
Okay.
A friend. It wasn't like that.
3 times your age, twice your age?
Same age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's not a sugar daddy. Go ahead.
Same age. He just had a lot of money, so he helped me.
Okay.
Since I needed it. I didn't need to live with her. I was not about to be homeless. I had like $2,000 when I moved in with her.
All right. Go ahead.
She agreed to get a job when she moved down there. She never did. After her friend stopped paying her bills, she didn't pay anything. We got evicted.
What did she fail to pay?
We got rent, utilities. We had
How many months of rent?
Just January.
All right. And
she didn't pay any of the utilities for October, November, December, January.
And all that added to $1,500?
Yeah.
How much was the rent?
$550.
Okay. And she agreed to pay you at a later time?
Yeah, she kept saying she was going to get a job. She never went out and looked for a job.
That's not true.
I looked for a job. She laid around, partied. It was her partying all the time. I was in school. I'm a full-time student. And yeah, we got evicted that one day because the party got out of control. I had to pick up all the moving expenses because she still didn't have any money. I got us the motel for the week and the storage unit till the new apartment was ready.
Storage unit was free for the first month.
How long were her things stored?
Not a month. We still had to pay insurance, still had to pay for you.
How long were her things stored?
3 weeks at the most.
Okay, and the first month was free? Huh?
No.
It was not?
No.
Okay, why'd you hesitate to answer that question? Huh?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Okay, because usually that's an indication that a person's not telling the truth. When you ask a question and you just look, and then you say...
I was thinking in my head how much it was, but I don't remember because you had to pay insurance.
I didn't ask you how much it was. I asked, was it free for the first month?
No,
and you did like this. No. So that didn't sound convincing. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And she agreed to pay all the $1,591?
Yes.
All right. Ma'am, give me your side.
Well, first, like I said, I feel like I should be suing her anyway because I was evicted because of something she was doing. I didn't have friends down there, like she did. Like she said, she's in college. She has all the friends.
Did you pay your rent for January?
No.
Did you pay your utilities for October and November?
No.
All right.
But
so what does that have to do with the eviction?
Well, she's suing me for all that money, and I don't feel like I should have to pay all that because I did. She knew that I didn't have a job, and I looked for a job unlike what she said. She told me that she was going to help me with the babysitting because I just moved to a new town. I didn't know anybody. She said she'd help with the babysitting until I could get on daycare assistance. I looked for a job. I even applied at McDonald's and couldn't get a job, so it wasn't like I was not looking.
Okay. But you have to tell me whether you promised to pay her.
I had to pay her. I had to write that note because she wasn't going to give me my stuff out of storage. A promissory note saying that I owed her $1,500.
So you
Or
did
it
owe
was a
her?
promissory note for 1700.
Did you owe her?
I owe her part of it, yes.
How much?
The rent and the utilities.
How much is that?
I'm not sure. She'd have
Okay.
to ask her.
All
I've
right.
never
Well,
seen
she's
a bill.
sure.
Yeah, I've never seen
Any
a bill.
witnesses?
So.
Any witnesses want to speak? All right. You don't want to speak? All right. You can't help her out? You can't help her out?
Well, he
just
was there
surprised.
when I signed my
I was
promissory
just
note.
there
The
when she
only
signed
reason-
Okay.
The only reason I signed the note is because she would not let me have my stuff out of storage.
No, but you also said you knew you owed.
Right, yeah. But not $1,500. I don't believe it's that high.
All right. Did you all discuss the amount?
No, she said that's what I owed her for rent.
Now, why didn't you discuss it like you're discussing it with me?
we
Why
argued.
pardon?
Because we argue and fight, and it would have been probably pretty bad. Like-
So when someone gives you a promissory note and says, you owe me a certain amount, and you know that it's less than that,
Right.
to avoid an argument, you'll sign whatever someone gives you.
Well, I signed it because my kids' clothes, everything was in that storage unit. I didn't have anything. Everything was in storage, and the only way I could get my stuff out was to do that. She held my stuff for like 3 weeks. She would not let me come get it.
You didn't have a key?
No, she had the key. We were best friends.
Did you
I mean,
ask her for a key?
Yes, and she told me no.
When did you ask?
Like a week. It was a week.
And so for the next 2 weeks, she would not give you a key.
No.
Ma'am?
And she wouldn't even meet me to get my stuff out.
That's not true. A week after we put our stuff in the storage, she said she needed to get in and get certain things. And I met her there and she got the stuff out. Storage was in completely my name, so I was not going to give her a key
Why?
because she hasn't paid for anything.
Okay,
She-
so you were withholding her things pending her payment.
No, not at that moment.
Well, I didn't ask you the moment, period. Because that's not legal. You can't withhold someone's property until they pay you. That's taking the law
she
into
just
your own
said she
hands. You have
needed
to sue a person. You give them their property and then you bring them to a small claims court, as you have.
She just said she needed certain things at that day. If she needed everything,
But
then
she's
she-
not sure how much she owes you anyhow, and she acknowledges owing you. So since you don't know how much you owe, she does. You acknowledge you owe her. I'm going to go with what she believes you owe, whether you signed under duress or not. If you signed under duress and didn't owe anything, then perhaps the case would be dismissed against you. But you say you owed her. So even if you signed under duress, you owed her and you had agreed to pay her. The only issue is how much. And you don't know how much, but she does. Therefore, I'm going to grant her judgment. $1,591 is your judgment. Have a good day.